They will tell you not to dream too big, not to think like someone who has more than you, not to speak like someone with wealth in their bones and fire in their soul. They'll say, be realistic. But what they really mean is, don't grow beyond me. This is the war most people never see. It's not a war of fists or weapons. It's a war of thought. A quiet, deadly war that happens inside your mind every single day. And if you don't choose the weapons of thought with intention, then you've already lost. Because the truth is, the difference between poverty and prosperity, obscurity and greatness, isn't money. It's thinking. You don't wait to become a millionaire to think like one. You become a millionaire precisely because you thought like one when you were still broke, still hungry, still doubted. Look at history's giants. Andrew Carnegie was a poor Scottish immigrant working in a cotton factory. Henry Ford was a farm boy with no money, no influence, just a belief that he could reshape transportation itself. Walt Disney was a paperboy from Missouri who was told he lacked imagination. And Edison? Edison failed 10,000 times in a lab before the world called him a genius. They didn't start with riches. They started with vision, with a dangerous idea that said, what I see in my mind is more real than what I see in front of me. And so I ask you, what do you see? Do you see your bank account? Or your destiny? Do you see your current limits? Or your infinite potential? Because until you learn to think from the place you're going, not the place you're in, you will always be stuck where you are. You must become a visionary of your own life, not a spectator, not a victim, but the architect. You must begin to walk, talk, breathe, and move like the person you are becoming, not in arrogance, but in alignment, because your mind is a magnet, and it pulls toward it not what you want, but what you expect. That's why belief is everything. It is the soil where every seed of success is planted. But belief doesn't come from the world telling you who you are. It comes from you telling the world what you will become. So you must begin with a ruthless audit of your thoughts. What are the silent phrases running through your mind, on repeat? I'm not ready. I'm not enough. One day. These aren't just words. They're chains. Invisible, yes, but real. More real than the bills. More real than the job you hate. Because thoughts become habits, and habits build your future. And don't be mistaken. Everyone has beliefs. But millionaires, they shape them on purpose. They do not inherit their thinking from the world. They invent it. They train themselves to see opportunities where others see risk. They reframe rejection as feedback. They see time not as something to kill, but as capital to invest. Every second, a seed. Every day, a brick in the empire they are building. But here's the truth. Thinking like a millionaire is not about money. It's about value. You have to ask yourself constantly, am I a consumer or a creator? Am I chasing comfort or am I chasing growth? Because the world pays creators. The world pays solvers. The world rewards those who dare to ask better questions, build better systems, deliver better results, even when nobody's watching yet. And that's the paradox. You must behave like someone of great value before anyone recognizes your value. That's the test. Most people want proof before they believe, but the greats, they believe before there's any proof. And that's what makes the proof arrive. You see, clarity is a force multiplier, and clarity is earned, not given. You earn it through self-honesty, through trial, through reflection. You find it when you stop asking, what do I want? And start asking, What am I willing to become? Millionaire thinking doesn't start with a dream car or a bank balance. It starts with identity. Who are you when no one is clapping? Who are you when the lights are off? The plans fall through. The world says no. Do you still show up with excellence? Do you still move with power? Do you still speak with vision? Because discipline is the language of the future self. It is the voice that says, I will not betray who I am becoming for the comfort of who I've been. And this, more than anything else, is the great separator. Not talent, not IQ, not luck, but the ability to hold the vision when the reality looks like dust. Think of Thomas Edison. 10,000 failed experiments. 10,000. But he didn't call them failures. He called them lessons. He said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That is millionaire thinking. Resilient, relentless, refusing to let external results dictate internal belief. And it's not about being emotionless, no. It's about emotional mastery. The ability to feel the fear and move forward anyway. To feel the doubt and still take the next step. To feel the loneliness and still keep building, even when no one understands. This is not a mindset for the faint of heart. It is a mindset of warriors, not the kind who fight with swords, but the kind who fight with purpose. It's the kind of mindset that wakes you up at 5 a.m. not because you have to, but because you can't stay asleep when the future is calling you by name. You know there's more inside you. You've always known. It's not the world that has to change. It's your alignment with the voice. That fire. That sacred frustration that says, I was not born to be average. And you weren't. You were born with a vision that cannot be stolen, only silenced. And it is your job to reawaken it, to train it, to command it. You think the wealthy are lucky? You think the greats just stumbled into greatness? No. They demanded it. They demanded more of themselves, more of their time, more of their mind. They refused to outsource responsibility for their lives. You want to think like a millionaire before you have a dime? Then stop waiting for someone to hand you a map and become the compass.